Yes, beta. Let's have the discussion of the questions given in the book, in the boxes for the previous part that we have already read, so that we can have a little recapitulation of the previous part, and then we'll continue for the next. Yes. Coming on, this is page number 47. Page number 47. Look at the questions, and I want that more and more students should participate. Raise your hands, come forward. Your name should be shown on the screen so that I can quickly recognize. Okay. Yes, beta. Now I can see 2 hands raised only. Gurveer and Pranavori. Yes, Gurveer, beta, start. Start with the first question.
Yes, ma'am. Strike out what is not correct in the following. Rajkumar Shukla was a politician. That is false.
The rest
Rajkumar
all,
Shukla
the rest all are correct.
are true.
Means
Yes,
Rajkumar
ma'am.
Shukla was a sharecropper. Yes. Was a politician?
Yes.
No. Was a delegate?
No.
No. He was not representative of any country. A landlord? No. That means only one option is correct here. A sharecropper. He was a sharecropper. Okay. Then B part. B part. Next student Pranavori.
Yes, ma'am. Rajkumar Shukla was ma'am illiterate.
Rajkumar Shukla was poor. Yes. Physically strong? No. Illiterate? Yes. हमें बताया गया ना physically weak उसकी जो health बताई गई है, and all the farmers in those days were very poor, so he was also one of them. Not shown rich, so he belonged to the same category. So poor and illiterate are correct, and physically strong is wrong. But please keep yourself mute if you are not speaking. I think Amanpreet, beta, your mic is on. Please switch it off. Yes, next. Mitali Jain. Mitali Jain. Next question, beta.
Question 2. Why is Rajkumar Shukla described as being resolute? When Gandhi told Shukla that he had an appointment in Kanpur and was also committed to go to other places of India, but after hearing that, Shukla continued to accompany him, and for the weeks he never left the Gandhi side. This showed that Rajkumar Shukla's nature was very resolute.
Yes, Rajkumar Shukla is described as being resolute. We come to know from his tenacity and the way he followed and accompanied Mahatma Gandhi, because Mahatma Gandhi was not free and he had to go to other places, but Rajkumar Shukla accompanied him everywhere and followed him even to the ashram also. He did not leave Mahatma Gandhi's side. And then at the end, he requested Mahatma Gandhi to fix a date. So Mahatma Gandhi was also impressed with the tenacity, with the firm steadfastness of this poor sharecropper Rajkumar Shukla. So we can describe him as very resolute and determined type of person. Okay. Next question. I want Jessie. Jessie, clear, beta. Next question.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Why do you think the servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant? Answer is Rajkumar Shukla led Gandhi ji to the house of lawyer who named Rajendra Prasad. Rajendra Prasad was out of the town, and his servants knew that Shukla was a poor peasant, and he was accompanying Mahatma Gandhi ji with himself. So the servants took him to be another peasant.
Yes, the servants took Mahatma Gandhi as one of the peasants because they knew Rajkumar Shukla who used to come to Rajendra Prasad, their master, to discuss about the cases of the poor sharecroppers. And when they went to Rajendra Prasad's house, he was not at home. So the servants took Mahatma Gandhi also as one of the peasants, and they did not even allow Mahatma Gandhi to take water from the well, thinking him having the feeling of untouchability. They did not allow. Otherwise, according to them, the water would be polluted. Yeah. Now the next question, I want Matthew, beta,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
continue with the next question given on the next page. That is page number 49.
List the places that Gandhi visited between his meeting with Shukla and his arrival at Champaran. After his meeting with Shukla, Gandhi visited Kanpur, his ashram near Ahmedabad, Calcutta, Patna, and Muzaffarpur before he reached Champaran.
Between his first meeting with Shukla and his arrival at Champaran. Here you have to better mention those, I think when they started from Calcutta, they took a train to Patna, or you can add first meeting. If we consider the previous one, then you are right that he went to Kanpur, then to other places of India, then he went to ashram, and then after many months he met Mahatma Gandhi in Calcutta, and from there they went to Patna and then to Muzaffarpur, where he stayed in the house of a government employee. And after that, he moved to many other places also, Tir Hut division and the other areas. Motihari, that was the capital of Champaran. Okay. Next. Coming to the next question. Ashwinder beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Ashwinder, yes beta. Next question.
Ma'am, what did the peasants pay the British landlords as rent? What did the British now want instead and why? What would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of the natural ones? So the peasants planted 15% of their holdings with indigo, and they were asked to surrender the indigo to the Britishers as rent.
Yes, the
But
first part
now,
is, we'll go
yes,
part by part. In the first part, you can say that the peasants paid the British landlords the whole crop as rent, and they were compelled to plant 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire crop as entire harvest as rent. Yes, the second part. Yes, beta, Ashwinder. Continue with the second
ma'am,
part. Yes.
ma'am, when the Britishers came to know that Germany had developed the technology of producing synthetic indigo, so they decided that they won't ask the peasants to grow indigo anymore, but so they tricked them and asked them to pay and asked the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement.
Yes. Now the Britishers wanted that they should be relaxed from this long-term agreement, and they were told to pay some compensation to be relaxed from this agreement, because these were the illiterate peasants and they did not know about the coming of the synthetic indigo in the market. Next. Third part of this question. Now I would like some other student to come forward. I cannot see any hand raised. Yes, Ketan Sethi. Ketan Sethi, Harjot Parmar, Harjot Kashvi.
Ma'am,
Yes. Yes, beta. Kashvi, are you going to answer, beta?
ma'am, what would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of?
Okay, Ashwindar, continue. Yes, beta.
What
Yes.
would be the impact? What would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural indigo?
Yes.
So the prices of the natural indigo would fall eventually.
Would.
Would fall eventually.
Yes, would fall eventually because now there is competition, and if the people are getting synthetic indigo less rate, they will not buy the natural indigo, and automatically when the demand is less and supply is there, the rates decreases. Commerce students know this thing. They are reading all this in economics, that when demand and supply, there is a relation, and when the demand increases, the rates also increase, and when the demand decreases, the rates will fall down because the people will go for the synthetic indigo which was available at less rate. Otherwise, there was competition also. So, coming to the next part. Let's continue with the reading of the next part because the next questions will be based on the next part of the chapter only. We had read up to this part that Mahatma Gandhi, he established his headquarters, started getting the information, detailed information. He met the secretary of the British Landlords Association, but he did not get any information because according to them, he was an outsider and he should leave that area. Then Mahatma Gandhi called on the British Official Commission of Tir Hat Division, and the commissioner also told Mahatma Gandhi, he also threatened Mahatma Gandhi and advised him to leave Tir Hat. But Mahatma Gandhi did not leave. He proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran, and several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a large crowd was there to greet Mahatma Gandhi, and he continued his investigation, setting his headquarters in a house. There he listened to the news. A report came that a peasant had been maltreated, ill-treated in the nearby village, and Mahatma Gandhi wanted to go and see that villager, that peasant. When he started, the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. Mahatma Gandhi complied, and messenger drove Mahatma Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed the receipt of the notice, but he wrote that he would disobey the order. That means he would not go back. And in result, Mahatma Gandhi got a summon to appear in the court next day. But what we see, when he got this summon, he was kept awake. He remained awake for a whole night. He kept on doing his planning. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad and told him to bring some powerful friends from Bihar. He sent instructions to the ashram. He then gave a message, wired his full report to the viceroy also. What happened in the morning when Mahatma Gandhi was summoned in the court and he had to appear in the court? The morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. All the peasants gathered there in front of the court. These people did not know anything about Mahatma Gandhi's record and his works about South Africa, but they had heard that there is a man who had come to help them, to support them, and he is having trouble with the authorities. So their spontaneous demonstration, that means spontaneous protest and demonstration in thousands, in large number, around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from the fear of British. So we have read this part that Mahatma Gandhi was successful in his first target, that was to make these peasants free from the feeling of fear, because now they were not having any fear of the Britishers. They all gathered in protest to support Mahatma Gandhi, that he should not be arrested, he should not be put into jail. So they all gathered there, and this was the first step towards the freedom from the Britishers, and the first step for the peasants to be free from the feeling of fear. And it created a great problem for the Britishers. The officials felt powerless. Without Gandhi's cooperation, they could not control that crowd, that mob, the demonstration that the peasants were doing. So the officials, the British officials were helpless, they were powerless at that time, and they had to take the help of Mahatma Gandhi. He helped them to regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly, was giving them concrete proof that their might hitherto dreaded and unquestioned could be challenged by Indians. We were discussing this line, and I told you to underline this line. Sometimes it is changed into question. Okay, how can you explain this term? Why it was said by Mahatma Gandhi? He was telling the Britishers that now they are getting the concrete proof, a solid proof, that their might means their power, which was dreaded, जिससे कि वो लोग डरते थे, Indians डरते थे, and it was unquestioned, they never asked any question, could be challenged by Indians. Now that will be challenged by the Indians. Indian लोग जो हैं उनकी इस power को challenge कर सकते थे, because they can see the proof of large number of these peasants who had gathered in front of the court doing the protest. That means they were not having any feeling of fear. They were not dreaded from. They were not dreading from the power of the Britishers. They just want to ask a question about the arrest of Mahatma Gandhi. The government was baffled, or the British government at this time was baffled, that means confused, very upset, what to do now, because they could not control the situation. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. So they were compelled. The prosecutor कौन होता है? जो government's advocate होते हैं, government की तरफ से जो advocate थे, what they requested the judge to postpone the trial, कि इस trial को महात्मा गांधी को जो कोर्ट में बुलाया गया था, इस trial को postpone कर दिया जाए. This was the only solution because of the protest of these peasants. They were not able to handle the situation. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their superiors, and it was clear that the authorities, they wanted to consult their superiors now, अपने जो higher authority. Yes, beta. Got disconnected in between. So I think this line is clear. We discussed yesterday also, and now also it is clear that now the Britishers, they just postponed the case because they wanted to consult their superiors. But Mahatma Gandhi did not like this idea. He protested against the delay. He did not want to make any delay. He wanted that whatever decision they want to take, it should be taken immediately. He protested for this delay.